on the Disaster Risk Management Bill, Senate Bills number 14 of 2021. This bill is in the Senate for the second reading. Debate will also resume on the Kenya Citizenship and Immigration Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 33 of 2021. This bill is by the Senator for Murang'a County, Senator Irungu Kang'ata. Other bills which have been lined up for debate for the second reading include the Law of Succession Amendment Bill, the Public-Private Partnerships Bill, the Health Amendment Bill, the County Boundaries Bill, and the Lifestyle Audit Bill. In the Committee of the Whole House, a number of bills have been lined up for debate as well. Among them, the Disaster Risk Management, the Kenya Citizenship and Immigration, the Law of Succession, the Public-Private Partnerships Bill, the Health Amendment Bill, the County Boundaries Bill, the Lifestyle Audit Bill, the Office of the County Printer Bill, the Investment Promotion Amendment Bill, and the Natural Resources Benefit Sharing Bill, Senate Bills number 25 of 2020. The Senate Majority Whip will move a motion rescinding the resolution of the Senate on approval of senators to serve in the Committee of Powers and Privileges, that pursuant to Standing Order 58, subsection 2A, the Senate rescinds its resolution made on Thursday, 16th September 2021 on the approval of senators to serve in the Committee of Powers and Privileges. Debate will also resume on a motion by the Chairperson Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the adoption of the report of the Committee on Finance and Budget on the status of Kenya's stock of public debt. If you're just joining us, the business of the Senate is about to begin, and now I will hand you over for this live broadcast courtesy of the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit and KBC.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to behold with the abundant favor and blessings as your servants whom you've been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Senator Chilayako, Senator for Migori.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wish to bring the following petition in concert with the people who have signed it. We, the undersigned, concerned citizens of Kenya, residents of Migori County, and especially persons with various types of disability, aware that Article 54, Subarticle 1, Paragraph B of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides for the rights of persons with a disability, that persons with disability are entitled to reasonable access to educational institutions and facilities for persons with disability that are integrated into the society to the extent compatible with the interest of the person, that Article 10, Subarticle 2, Paragraph B of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 recognizes human dignity, equity, social justice, inclusivity, equality, human rights, non-discrimination, and protection of the marginalized in public service and governance, whereas Article 56 provides that the state shall put in place measures to ensure affirmative action programs designed to ensure minority and marginalized groups participate and are represented in governance and other spheres of life, and Article 185 vests legislative authority and oversight functions of county to the county assemblies. That the county government of Migori in its County Integrated Development Plan, CIDP 2018-2022, outline to date has not provided for specific budget lines to demonstrate substantial efforts by the county government in implementing disability mainstreaming programs. This exclusion has exposed the persons with disability to low levels of living standards and serious negative economic impact by the county government of Migori. That among strategies gender mainstreaming programs or improving established and to increase access to women and persons with disabilities funds, that efforts to have this matter addressed with the relevant national and county governments agencies have not produced any positive results despite our continuous follow-up, that the matter in this petition is not pending before any court of law or other constitutional or legally established body. Now, therefore, we pray that the Senate, 1, investigates the issues raised in this petition and provide appropriate measures to resolve the matter. 2, recommends the creation and inclusion of social protection programs for persons with disability in the county. 3, make any other recommendation that it deems fit in the circumstances of the matter. The petitioners are Simon Mino, Pares Atieno, Jared Ogada, Joshua Otieno, Michael Okello, Kennedy Oguda, Jacinta Alila, Jane Anyango, Grace Akinyi, David Otieno, Mesha Kodondi, Judith Akinyi, Matara Albert, Dennis Makale, and Nkonya Newton, signed together with myself. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, pursuant to order number 311, 1, I will now allow a few comments observations and any clarifications for not more than 30 minutes. Senator Arake Abshil.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to support the petition by people with disabilities from Migori County. Madam Speaker, the issue of mainstreaming of special interest groups activists for these groups. Madam Speaker, we are seeing a situation where people are paying lip service to people with disabilities, to women, to youth, and all other special interest groups, Madam Speaker. Our documents are made in a way that they are so beautiful, have all the disability mainstreaming mechanisms, have all the gender mainstreaming mechanisms, have all the youth mainstreaming mechanisms, yet we find that these words are just words. No budget has been allocated, such as in the case of Migori, but Migori can be replaced with Isiolo, can be replaced with Mandera, can be replaced with Wajir, can be replaced with Baringo, can be replaced with Bungoma, you name it. Every county has very beautifully written county integrated development plans. Those plans do not have any budget accorded to them, especially when it comes to these special interest groups. It is very disturbing to find that 10 years after the Constitution of Kenya 2010 has been passed, we are still seeing people just paying lip service, writing documents that they don't intend to implement, that they don't allocate resources to, and therefore, when we are told government resources follow government strategy, we're wondering, why is there so many things and so many strategic initiatives or programs that have been designed in the development plans that are not honored because no budget was given? Instead, budgets are given to governor's office for anamorphous, nondescript initiatives that cannot be accounted for, yet all the other aspects that concern and touch people directly, especially the most vulnerable in society, are not accorded any budget or any resource, even in terms of human resource. Madam Speaker, you'll find in many of our counties, we have a gender ministry that is put together with 20 other ministries, and by the time you try and even break it down to, so who is responsible for gender or who is responsible for persons with disability, there's no one responsible for them. There's no resource responsible for them. There's no human resource responsible for them. So are we only seeing these kinds of things on paper and in written format, but not any actionable issues that we can really point to? No county today can speak of having mainstream disability other than just in their writing, in their CIDPs. So, Madam Speaker, this Senate, as an oversight body and as people under Article 96 mandated with protecting counties, and counties will not be anything, cannot be protected if parts of their people or big chunks of their residents, especially women who are more than half the people who reside in these counties. And of course our PWDs are also a big and reasonable number, and numbers don't matter anyway. Even one person not given a service when they deserve it and when they should be given a service is one too many, Madam Speaker. So I think this is something that this Senate has to really make sure that before the closure of the 12th Parliament, we deal with this, because if we're not dealing with our most vulnerable, then we're not dealing with anything at the moment. I support, Madam Speaker, and I thank you for the opportunity to contribute to this.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Gertrude Dr. Musuruve, online.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute to this petition. And Honorable Speaker, this petition is quite valid, and I thank Senator Ochino for bringing up the issue that is happening in his constituency. And it is an issue that is happening everywhere else, Honorable Speaker, in almost all the 47 counties. It is unfortunate, Honorable Speaker, that we keep talking about gender mainstreaming. We are talking about mainstreaming persons with disabilities, but in the real sense, when it comes to implementing, it is actually zero rated. It is unfortunate that people still view persons with disabilities from a charity perspective where they need to get handouts. But when it comes to persons with disabilities being given an opportunity to work just like anybody else, they're not given an opportunity. Honorable Speaker, it is unfortunate that you will see persons with disabilities on wheelchairs, some of them also with white canes, some of them even with crutches, but in their mind they're able to work just like anybody else, but they're not given an opportunity. And Honorable Speaker, in some counties, even when money is set aside, it is actually not benefiting persons with disabilities. Persons with disabilities are used as rubber stamps. You just hear that this money is allocated for PWDs, but when you go to real PWDs themselves, they're not given any allocation, Honorable Speaker. Even when they need to do some businesses, you'll find that in some county governments, they're not given even an opportunity to even do tenders. And so the cyclic nature of poverty still continues to run in their families. It is unfortunate, Honorable Speaker, that Kenya signed and ratified the Convention on PWDs, globally. But when it comes to adhering to it becomes really a big issue. Most of the issues we see, most of the, awareness we see in the country, you'll find persons with disabilities being given wheelchairs. But a wheelchair will not bring food on your table, Honorable Speaker. There's need for all counties to have a sustainable way of ensure anybody else, because persons with disabilities are deserving. They have the brains, they can do desk jobs, they can do many other jobs, Honorable Speaker. And also another point in case, Honorable Speaker, in most counties you'll find that they say they have, they're doing disability mainstreaming and they have interpreters doing the work. We need interpreters. We need also the deaf to be employed. We need physically, people with wheelchair to be employed. We need the visually impaired to be employed, Honorable Speaker, so that they're economically viable, Honorable Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Mudama Agnes Kavindu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to join hands with my fellow senators to congratulate the senator for bringing this motion of disabilities. Madam Speaker, I want to say this, the people living with disability, and especially the mentally retarded, especially ladies, they even get impregnated by normal men, and they are left at the mercies of the family members to take care of these children and to protect them. And there is need, Madam Speaker, for such people to be protected, because if, let's say, like a single mother gives birth to such a child, and then she has to go out and look for money to come and feed this child, and this child is left alone without anyone to take care of them. That is when they are very vulnerable to very normal people who take advantage of them. Madam Speaker, when it comes to transportation of PWDs, and especially those who are completely lame and they walk with wheelchairs, it is really a challenge for them, because very few matatus accept them, public transport accept them to carry them, because they are burdened to get in the car and even come out of it. Getting contracts in the counties is also a big problem. Madam Speaker, this is a timely bill, and a statement, and I think the petition. And Madam Speaker, I think if it sees the light of the day, it will be very good for the PWDs. When it comes to even programs, the programs which are done in the counties and even in our country, even from national level, they are very much excluded. So we need the PWDs to be included in every program and everything that every normal person does, because they can do it. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I support.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Wambua Enoch Kioi.
I thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to add my comments on this petition read on behalf of these 15 petitioners by the Senator for Migori. Madam Speaker, I will only say three things. One, that a government is known and respected by the kind of attention that it focuses on the less fortunate members of its society. And in this case, how the county government of Migori treats people living with disabilities speaks volumes about the care that that government extends to everybody in that county. Madam Speaker, having said that, this matter is not just about Migori County. I think it's a matter that touches on almost all the counties in this country. And Madam Speaker, I think a time has come that county governments must be held to account on matters to deal with people living with disabilities for two reasons. One, Madam Speaker, the job opportunities available to PWDs in county governments across the country, you realize that most of these county governments appreciate their PWDs as a burden, not people who should be facilitated to undertake certain roles in the development of their counties. When you look at the buildings that are put up by county governments, a lot of them are not compliant to the needs of the PWDs. And Madam Speaker, this is something that we need to take up very soon. Lastly, Madam Speaker, it is not just about county government, it's also about political parties. Madam Speaker, you realize that in the structure of nominations for all political parties, there is a slot that should go to persons living with disabilities. But you go into a lot of these county governments and look at the persons that have been nominated by political parties to fill the slots for PWDs, and it's a shame, to say the least, on the number of people, able-bodied people, that are nominated in the slots that are set aside for PWDs. Madam Speaker, I thank the Senator for Migori for bringing this statement, and I hope that the committee to which it is submitted will do justice.
Sorry, Senator. Senator, where you have an intervention?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to inform Senator Wambua that political parties don't nominate people who are not disabled into the disabled slots. I want to defend political parties. Before anyone is put on the list of the party list for nominations, that person must produce a certificate of registration from the National Society of the Disabled or the National Registration of Board of the Disabled. So it's not true that it is possible to have somebody who is not disabled to take the slot of the disabled. You can argue on issues of whether that disability is visible or not, but the people who are in charge of inspecting and checking that whether this person is disabled and is ripe for that slot is not even political parties. It is the board concerned with the registration of the disabled. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable, I think in my understanding, what the Senator for Kitui means is that apart from what is supposed to be for the disabled, the parties should do more. They should go beyond what the requirement and add. I think, but you can conclude, Senator. Just a minute again. Senator Uchila Yako, you have an intervention?
Sorry, just wanted to correct Senator Were. She called you Mr. Speaker, and I thought the record should not bear that. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay. You don't need to defend yourself, just correct it. Senator, we'll just connect for purposes of record.
Madam Speaker, I apologize. I thought I actually corrected and called you Madam Speaker, as you so deserve. Thank you.
Okay, Senator Were. Senator Fokitui, please conclude.
Madam Speaker, you know, I had actually concluded, but now that I have the floor, Madam Speaker, you know, I called for an audit. Senator Were has provided results of an audit that has not even been undertaken. And to the credit of what I said, Madam Speaker, without mentioning parties, because I think she can only speak about ANC. Other people speak for their own parties. Without mentioning parties, Madam Speaker, I have come across nominations on the slots of persons living with disabilities, and you realize that the person nominated, maybe they just have a broken finger and a twisted finger, and getting certificates is what it is. I mean, they will go and process whatever certificates they're going to process. And what I'm saying is political parties must be responsible enough to know what extent of disability would qualify for nomination. That's why I'm saying, but the audit will perhaps bring better results and exonerate ANC from the accusation. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, thank you, Senators. Senator Langat Christopher Andrew.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator.
First, I would like to thank the Senator from Migori and the petitioners of this particular very important petition before the Senate. And I would also like to congratulate the Senate because we have seen most of the very sensitive petitions coming here, showing, Madam Speaker, that people still trust this particular very important Senate to handle their issues. I want to say that the petitioners have mentioned very important issues affecting them. And I want to say it affects people with disabilities all over the country. They have not been mainstreamed effectively in every sector, even when it comes to matters to do with employment. Most of them are sidelined. Most of them have not been given slots that the Constitution actually give them. I want to say also that if you check across the budgets for the counties on social welfare, especially on matters to do with people with disability, they are given very little money. And rarely again, to that particular portion of very little money reaches their needs. So this is a matter that we must take it seriously. And as the Senate, we must make sure that the committee concerned, or even the Committee on Devolution, get a record or a data from all our counties showing slots given to the people with disability and even stipends given to them by various county governments. There are several complaints whenever we go to the field coming from people with disabilities that they have not been assisted effectively. Some of them have got children in school and even they are not assisted to get school fees. I want also to say that the government, the national government, also has a share of blame because, Madam Speaker, that the relevant ministry has not been giving them the stipends that they are supposed to receive on monthly basis. So apart from the county governments not actually responding to their needs, we must also blame the national government, the ministry concerned. I want also to say that when we've gone round one time with the Committee on National Cohesion, and funny enough, even up to this particular point of time, there are some county governments that their structures, the offices of some departments are not responsive to the needs of people with disabilities. Yeah, there are no ramps, there are no supports, there are no people situated in some places to assist them in one way or another. So I want to say that these people with disabilities have got a lot of challenges even in our county. I've seen most of them coming to my home with a lot of complaints. And I want to say that this particular petition affects all the counties. So I want to say this matter must be taken seriously, and even we should go ahead, Madam Speaker, to have data of how the national government is assisting these particular people on monthly stipend. Sometimes these particular people, maybe they have quota share, but due to corruption, they are not getting this particular money. So proper audit, even from the Office of the Auditor General, must be conducted, and this particular house must demand to see that particular audit, how many people are being given assistance by the national government on stipend every month. We should know by our counties. So this is a serious matter, and I want to support this petition. And I want to thank the petitioners for bringing this particular plea for the people with disability so that we may take it seriously and assist them. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Honorable Senators, I know that we have members, some of our members who are traveling to Mombasa, and we need to have them. So we'd really urge them to log in online so that it does not disrupt the proceedings of this House, and we should be able to achieve the goal of today. Senator Adan Duale. Sorry. Senator, you didn't hear what I said. Senator Dulo, without me. Sorry.
Thank you, Speaker.
I don't know if it's your brother or...
No, he's my brother, but we have no blood relationship and we don't share a name. But thank you so much for the opportunity. Madam Speaker, I wish to support this petition, and I wish to thank Senator Ochilo Ayako for bringing this petition on behalf of the Migori County, especially PWDs. Madam Speaker, I know that people living with disabilities, they have a very comprehensive and ambitious legislation. I know I contributed to developing the regulation many years back when I used to work with the Kenya National Council for Persons with Disabilities, which actually clearly operationalizes the Act. Madam Speaker, the matters raised in the petition is a matter that is affecting most of the counties, especially on the budget. I know that their issues are not taken very seriously, and as a country, we have to look at those issues, especially...
Sorry, Senator Faria, you are obstructing. Kindly.
You're in between.
Madam Totally Speaker, out of order.
Sorry, thank you. Madam Speaker, issues of budget is a matter affecting most of the counties. I know for a fact, even my own county, one time the budget that was meant for people living with disabilities was reallocated to other sectors. This is how county governments are not serious on matters affecting people with disabilities. And I think over the years, we've really discussed these issues, but unfortunately, implementation of many legislations in this country is not done properly. Madam Speaker, I know very well in that particular legislation and regulation, there are matters to do with the buildings, where the buildings that come up after the passing of that legislation and regulation, they are supposed to erect access for people living with disabilities. But these days we see so many buildings that are coming up. That has not been done. And I think that is the responsibility of the government and the county governments to ensure that there are ramps to allow people living with disabilities are taken care of. Madam Speaker, even matatus, you will find that people living with disabilities are struggling with their wheelchairs. And their legislation is very clear where we should have implemented to make sure that people living with disabilities are able to access matatus in this country. But that has not been done over the years. Secondly, Madam Speaker, is the issue of employment, where the 5% of every job creation in this country is supposed to be given to people living with disabilities. But unfortunately, there are no enforcement mechanisms. People forget about it, and I think this is a matter that this particular committee should come up with a clear report
in ensuring that all those issues are actually followed. Madam Speaker, finally, the issue of contracts in this country, and even the county governments and national government, you will find that there are certain contracts that are supposed to be given to people living with disabilities, but unfortunately, people who are not disabled are the ones who actually find their way in getting those contracts, which is actually illegal. And most of the institutions, they condone that. And I think if we are really very serious as Kenyans, that is immoral. We should not allow it. If the contract is given to people with disabilities or the slot is given to people with disabilities, they should be actually allowed to get those contracts. And this is a matter that is affecting all the counties and the country at large, and it's a matter that really we need to bring to the attention of the government and also relevant institutions. And I hope this committee that is going to handle this matter, Madam Speaker, will be able to look into all these issues and audit how PWD Act is being implemented in this country. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senators. We have only 7 minutes left and we have 2 members, so I would like you to share the 7 minutes. Senator Abdullahi Ali.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wish also to thank Senator Ochilo for bringing this. People with disability suffer in this country terribly. They are not considered. They are found, they are pushed to the side. They don't get what they deserve. Even within the families, they are discriminated, Madam Speaker. And when the laws, there are a lot of laws concerning these issues and supporting people with disability, but the implementation is the problem. As Senator Dulo has said, even when they're told that they'll be given contracts, somebody uses their name to get a contract. And then they're given some small amounts. They're told, take this. Their names are registered with companies, and other people misuse it. So the people who are concerned, those ones who are supposed to look into these issues, should make sure that when they are giving to people with disability a contract, then the real persons involved should be given the contract, and they decide who should work for them and who they should give this thing.
Senator Sakaja, you have an intervention?
Okay.
Senator, you need some information from Senator Sakaja.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Senator Dr. Ali, for accepting the information. I just want to inform Senator Dr. Ali and members that in 2015 we brought amendments to the Public Procurement Disposal Act and really pushed hard to get those amendments done. The amendments say 2 things, Madam Speaker. 1, for these persons living with disability, and I'd like Senator Ochilo Yako, the petitioner, to hear, for the people living with disabilities, the youth and the women who get contracts, the contracting or procuring entity, whether it's a county government, any state agency or national government, must only pay into an account where the mandatory signatory is a member of that group, a youth, a woman, or a person with disability. But number 2, it also states that every 6 months, the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority shall bring to this House a report, and it says to the committee in charge of equalization, chaired by Senator Shionga, a list of all the procuring entities, all our counties, ministries, showing how many contracts they've given youth, how many they've given women, how many they've given people with disabilities. So maybe with that information, you can appeal to our committee to ask where that report has been for the life of this parliament, this 11th, which one are we in? 12th parliament. It has never come even once. Then we can see whether Wajir is giving, whether Nairobi is giving, whether Makueni is giving, and have a list of shame. I think that information could be useful to you.
Senator, continue.
Thank you, Senator Sakaja. That's why I was saying there are a lot of legislations, there are a lot of regulations, but nobody follows them. To the extent that what happens in certain areas, which I'm privy to, somebody's ID is taken, and then you register with the company, but the signature is not even the person, then it is not for that particular person. Somebody else colludes with the bank and colludes with the procuring entities. The signatures are different. The banks give to whoever. So those people, those things are not beneficial because the laws are not followed strictly and it's not enforced. That's why nobody reports to Parliament. In Kenya today, you're told when it comes to tribes, when it comes to women, when it comes to youth, there are always percentages. But who follows that? Nobody. So the problem with this country is that we have a lot of good laws, we write a lot of good papers, but implementation is zero. So until and unless we, the leadership, change attitude and follow up these issues to the end, then that's the only time we will succeed in helping our poor communities and the disabled and the women and the youth. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Finally, Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr.
Thank you. In fact, my contribution will follow the contribution by Senator Sakaja. I was going to say that in the last Parliament, last Senate, we actually received a report of not only PWDs, but even tribes, how the county governments have complied with the 30% rule on hiring people from other counties or other tribes. So I think for purposes of this, the committee led by Senator Shionga should ideally give us a report on this, because the requirement under the law is that the information ought to be available. We sympathize with Migori, but unfortunately all governors are doing the same thing. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senators. Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 232-1, the petition hereby committed to the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare for its consideration. In terms of Standing Committee 232-2, the committee is required in not more than 60 calendar days from the time of reading the prayer to respond to the petitioner by way of a report addressed to the petitioner and laid on the table of the Senate. Honorable Senators, I think we have heard how most of senators are contributing, and it is very clear that this House should not just be a talking House, but we should come up with very good recommendations and way forward, so that we always be seen to be giving solutions to the problems that are facing our people. Senator Sakaja, you have an intervention?
Yes, Madam Speaker, in as much as I didn't hear the entire petition, from what I've heard members contributing, and I've just given you the example where there's a direct mandate in, a statutory mandate in the law, in statute, that those issues are directed to the committee in charge of equalization of opportunities. In as much as I'd love to deal with it, they have legal backing from the law that they should be receiving that report, considering it and giving it to us. So I'd ask that you reconsider the committee to which you've considered. In as much as my committee looks at issues of disability, youth, women, etc., on this specific matter, there's a law that provides that they report to us, Madam Speaker. I'd urge that if you could reconsider, though I'd still be willing to deal with it. But they have more strength of the law. They're an act of Parliament, Madam Speaker.
Senator Mutula Jr.
Madam Speaker, we urge you to review your ruling. I think this is, although it's a labor-related issue, but the question ought to be addressed through the ministry, even the Ministry of Equalization and the committee led by Senator Shionga. That's where the information ideally should go to, and that's where it should be found. So, Madam Speaker, we urge you to revise and review that ruling in that regard, yes.
Yeah, Honorable Senators, I think we are a hearing House, and both committees have got the mandate to deal with the matter that is before us, or the petition. But I will rescind my decision on it and commit this, the petition, to the Committee of National Cohesion, Equal Opportunities and Regional Integration. Is that fine? Yes. So that's the way forward. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader. Senator Dulo.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, 21st October 2021. Report of the Auditor General on Financial Statement of Kiambu County Youth, Women and People with Disability Enterprise Development Fund, Kiambu Jijenge Fund, for the year ended 30th June 2019. Report of the Auditor General on the Financial Statement of Kirinyaga County Education Bursary Fund for the year ended 30th June 2019. The report of the Auditor General on the Financial Statement of Kirinyaga County Emergency Fund for the year ended 30th June 2019. And fourth, report of the Auditor General on the Financial Statement of Kwale County Disaster Management Fund for the year ended 30th June 2019. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Next statement by National Cohesion. Senator Langat.
Madam Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today on 21st October 2021, the report of the Standing Committee on the National Cohesion and Regional Integration on the National Cohesion and Peace Building 2021. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Majority Leader, Senator Faria.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. That notwithstanding the regulation of the Senate made on 14th December 2017, 14th February 2018, 21st February 2018, 21st June 2020, on the removal of senators to serve in various standing committees of the Senate, and pursuant to Standing Orders 89, 218, and the second schedule of the Standing Orders, the Senate approves the following senators nominated by Senate Business Committee to serve in the Standing Committee of the Senate as follows. Standing Committee on Energy, Senator Haji Abdul Mohammed, MP, to serve as a member. Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights, Senator Isaac Ngugi Gidhua, MP, to serve as a member. And number 3, Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations, Senator Gideon Moi, CBS, MP, to serve as a member. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Senator Wetangula.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity under dispensation. My statement was number 5, but on my request, you have kindly agreed to give me an opportunity. Madam Speaker, this is a request for statement on security of students of Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology while in and around the university in Kakamega town. Madam Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 48-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations regarding security of students of Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology while in and around the university. In the statement, Madam Speaker, the committee should 1, explain the circumstances leading to the murder, the brutal murder of a student of engineering, civil engineering at the university, the late Mr. Jonathan Telewa Weinganga, the son of Mr. Michael Telewa and Madam Mispa Telewa, a student at Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology who was killed while on a walk with his student colleagues at Kakamega Forest at 10 in the morning. Inform the Senate on the progress made on investigations, stating whether any suspect has been arrested in relation to the murder and arraigned in any court of law and the charges there preferred. Number 3, Madam Speaker, spell out measures, if any, put in place by the university administration and relevant government security agencies to ensure the security and safety of students in and around that university following an increase in cases of attacks on university students in the area. This is not the first, the second, or the third brutal attack and murder of a student at the university in Kakamega. Madam Speaker, 4, cause the government to compensate the parents of the deceased on the grounds of negligence by security agents in the performance of their duties. Madam Speaker, it is a very sad story where a student, a brilliant student of civil and structural engineering, a student leader in the university as well, walking with friends in the morning at 10, was brutally attacked and fatally stabbed by a person who has not been arrested up to now. And when the university administration was asked what happened, Madam Speaker, they are reported to have said the incident happened outside the university. That is a very callous, negligent, and reckless answer coming from the university administration, and I want to urge the committee to look into this matter seriously. We have had cases of student muggings, student murders, and student attacks, not only at Masinde Muliro University, but many other universities as well. Young female students lured into social places by men with money who end up killing them. And this, Madam Speaker, has to come to a stop. I want to urge the committee in looking at Telewa's matter to also engage the security agencies and the Minister for Interior on what special attention they're doing to give our students security while at the institutions of higher learning. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. As we had agreed, members, we want the statements to go and search for answers before we contribute. So we'll go to the next statement by Senator Petronila Were Locorio, under 48.1.
From where? Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise, Madam Speaker, to request for a statement on recruitments done by Mr. James Macharia since his appointment as Secretary as Cabinet Secretary in 2013 to date. Madam Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 48.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity and Regional Integration on the public appointments made by Mr. James Macharia, the Cabinet Secretary CS for Transport, Infrastructure, Housing, Urban Development and Public Works from 2013 to date. In the statement, the committee should, 1, provide a list of all public appointments or recruitments made by Mr. James Macharia, CS for Transport, Infrastructure, Housing, Urban Development and Public Works since his appointment as CS in 2013 to date. Secondly, the committee should determine to what extent these recruitments have met the criteria for regional and ethnic balance as is required by Articles 10, Subarticle 2B
Articles 27, Sub-Article 4, Article 56C, and Article 232(1)H and I of the Constitution. Third, Madam Speaker, the committee should outline the measures taken by the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, if any, to intervene where there has been blatant disregard of the law in these recruitments. And finally, Madam Speaker, the committee should provide a list of the employees in his current ministry with regard to rank, designation, and ethnic origin. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. The statements stand committed to the committees, relevant committees. The third statement is from Senator Beatrice Kwamboka. Senator Beatrice Kwamboka. Is she online? Yes, what's your point of order?
Madam Speaker, sorry for taking you back. I didn't hear, unless I missed it, you commit my statement to the committee.
I actually did both. I said the first two statements are committed to the relevant committees.
Excellent. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the first two statements are already committed. The third one, Senator Kwamboka, I don't see her here and I don't see her online. The next statement is from Senator Isaac Ngugi Githua.
Missing.
He is not here and is not online. The next statement is from Senator Mary Seneta. She is not here, she's not online.
Speaker.
Okay, thank you very much. Senator Pareno is going to read. We know that she's bereaved and she's away today for that reason. So Senator Pareno, please read.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to read this statement on behalf of my sister, Honorable Senator Mary Seneta, who we all know is bereaved and has asked me to read on her behalf. Madam Speaker, this is a request for statement on the status of operationalization of the Isinya Tannery in Kaputei North Ward, Kajiado County. Madam Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 48.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries on the status of operationalization of the Isinya Tannery in Kaputei North Ward, Kajiado County. In the statement, Madam Speaker, the committee should, 1, state the level of operationalization of the Isinya Tannery in Kaputei North Ward in Kajiado County. 2, provide a report on the feasibility study done before the construction of the project. 3, give the expected date of completion of the project, stating the amount of public funds allocated to the construction of the project from commencement to date. 4, state measurements, if any, that the county government has put in place to engage farmers in the county to take advantage of the imminent income earning opportunities in the tannery. 5, disclose the terms of engagement between the county government and the contractor on project handover and maintenance of the tannery. And 6, state the measures put in place by the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperatives in enhancing the production and sale of the quality hides and skins in the country, stating the location and status functionality of the tannery in the county. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Senator. That brings us to the end of the statements that have been submitted. And there is one last one by Senator Abshiro Alake.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 47.1 to make a statement on an issue of general topic of concern, namely preparations for the 2022 general elections. Madam Speaker, in July of this year, the government, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, issued a note verbal to all diplomatic missions, international organizations, and other foreign entities interested in supporting Kenya's preparations towards the 2022 general election, directing them to wait for the expression of such need from the government. Further, the government required all the said organizations currently engaged in any programs or activities related to the 2022 general election through government institutions, community-based organizations, faith-based organizations, and the media to immediately immediately inform the Ministry of Foreign Affairs through official channels of such support in order to formalize such arrangements. Madam Speaker, this directive by the government is dangerous and may stifle preparations towards the 2022 elections, as it affects many players in the management and support for free and fair election process, including the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the note verbal to the said international bodies has paralyzed functioning of organizations that depend on donor funding to run their activities, and also affects the political participation, especially of the marginalized, whose sensitization for political participation has for a long time been conducted by non-state actors through the civic education and related activities. Madam Speaker, as you know, I am the chairperson of the Center for Multi-Party Democracy, and non-state actors, including political parties, have been very instrumental in providing civic education to Kenyans with the broad aim of achieving fundamental national transformation through public policy, legal and constitutional, as well as institutional reforms. And they provide a platform to ensure that the citizens are forearmed with advanced, relevant and appropriate information, knowledge and understanding, as well as ownership of the Constitution for purposes of informed participation in electoral matters and free and fair elections, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this directive by the government to the donor community, as spelled out in the note verbal, is an affront to the democratic gains that Kenya has made over many decades, and can only be interpreted as an attempt to claw back such gains, Madam Speaker. It is imperative, therefore, that the government is seen as an enabler in creating the necessary environment appropriate for the growth of multi-party democracy and free and fair elections, Madam Speaker. The directive has further greatly paralyzed functioning of organizations that facilitate electoral matters, including the Center for Multi-Party Democracy and political parties, Madam Speaker. These organizations are preparing a petition to the Senate on this matter. Speaker, and because that petition could not make it to the floor of the House, so that this House is aware that this petition is also on its way. The directive has further greatly paralyzed functioning of organizations that facilitate electoral matters, including the Center for Multi-Party Democracy and political parties, and I therefore call upon the government to set aside the directives issued to the diplomatic missions, international organizations, and other foreign entities interested in supporting Kenya's preparations towards the 2022 general elections. Setting aside of the directives would build the confidence of the population and the global community in our political and electoral process leading to the 2022 general elections. I thank you and I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Let me allow only one comment because it's under 47(1), but aware of the fact that a petition is coming. Yeah, so the petition will be dealt with exhaustively, but allow me to give 3 minutes to Senator Wetangula so that he doesn't forget what he wants to say.
Madam Speaker, as a party leader and a presidential candidate, I have serious interest in this matter. I've listened to the distinguished senator, and it's a matter that I have actually been following up. It's extremely distressful, Madam Speaker, to note that while in all our successive reform agenda and electoral management, we rely, I would want Senator Murkomen to lead the chair, Senator Sakaja, to lead the chair, listen, that in our electoral management, right from the times of our IPPG 1997, we have always had partners who support IEBC without compromising its integrity and its independence. Madam Speaker, throughout, development partners always meet and put money in a basket so that no particular single country can have any overbearing engagement with IEBC. Strangely, Madam Speaker, a letter was written by the PS Foreign Affairs to all partners that have been assisting and supporting our electoral reforms and electoral processes, warning them that they are not allowed to engage IEBC to contribute any money, to any organization, including what the distinguished senator said, and that IEBC and all electoral management agencies must be left to function within the budget that's available. Yet we know that there's no budget available that is sufficient. So, Madam Speaker, I want to urge the committee, probably it's a legal committee, to summon the PS Foreign Affairs and demand that he rescinds that offensive letter. Because we know, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, that our budgetary allocations, given our constraints on public debt, our constraints on budget deficits, and so on and so forth, we do not have the capacity to fully fund our programs.
Thank you, Senator. You have made your point.
Thank you. I want to see that this matter is looked into very deeply, and we await the petition from the distinguished senator.
Thank you. Honorable Senators, as we mentioned on Tuesday, today is voting day. I want to persuade the members who are online not to leave. We are going to vote in block, so it's going to be very, very fast. We'll vote for the 7 bills at the same time, and then we will revert to committee stage. It will take a very, very short time. I think this was our commitment and the commitment of the House Business Committee, that there is a backlog we must clean up before we go for recess. So later today. So I'll defer the statement by the Senate Majority Leader until we finish the voting. So, honorable members, may I now call for the bell to be rung for 3 minutes? 5 minutes, so that, yes, can we have the orders read first?
Order number 9, the Disaster Risk Management Bill, Senate Bills number 14 of 2021, second reading division. Order number 10, the Kenya Citizenship and Immigration Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 33 of 2021, second reading division. Order number 11, the Law of Succession Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 15 of 2021, second reading division. Order number 12, the Public-Private Partnerships Bill, National Assembly Bills number 6 of 2021, second reading division. Order number 13, the Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 26 of 2020.
Order, members. Reading. I don't think Senator Giga has changed to Weta's party. No. So don't mistake her. Let's go ahead.
Order number 13, the Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 26 of 2020, second reading division. Order number 14, the County Boundaries Bill, Senate Bills number 20 of 2021, second reading division. Order number 15, the Lifestyle Audit Bill, Senate Bills number 36 of 2021, second reading division.
Thank you, Senators. I now order that the bell be rung for 3 minutes. 3 minutes is sufficient. And while that is going on, can I have the two tellers, please? Senator Were and Senator Nguki. Where is Senator Nguki? Yes, please come. Order, members. Order, members. Honorable members, I would now like to put a question for each of the 7 bills. The first one is that I put a question that the Disaster Risk Management Bill, Senate Bills number 14 of 2021, be read a second time. Order number 10, I put a question that the Kenya Citizenship and Immigration Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 33 of 2021, be read a second time. Order 11, I put a question that the Law of Succession Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 15 of 2021, be read a second time. Order 12, I put a question that the Public-Private Partnership Bills, National Assembly Bills number 6 of 2021, be read a second time. Order 13, I put a question that the Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 26 of 2020, be read a second time. Order 14, I put the question that the County Boundaries Bill, Senate Bills number 12 of 2021, be read a second time. Order 15, I put the question that the Lifestyle Audit Bill, Senate Bills number 36 of 2021, be read a second time. Now we'll go for division for all the 7. So I'll be expecting, honorable senators, that when you vote, you make a pronouncement that you are voting for the 7 or otherwise. Thank you, senators. It's going to be by roll call, and tellers, please come forward. Senator Lokorio and Senator Nguki. Clerk, start.
Senator Adan Dulo Fatuma, Isiolo County.
I vote yes. Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all 7 bills. Thank you.
Senator Ali Abdullahi Ibrahim, Wajir County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all the 7 bills.
Senator Boy Issa Juma, Kwale County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all 7.
Thank you, Issa. We have heard you.
Senator Cherarke Samson Kiprotich, Nandi County. Senator Cheriot Aaron Kipkirui, Kericho County. Senator Haji Abdul Mohammed, Garissa County.
Madam Speaker,
Yes, Senator Haji. Yes, Senator Haji, please.
I vote yes for all the 7.
Thank you.
Senator Hargura Godana, Marsabit County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all the 7 bills.
Senator Imana Malachi Charles Sekal, Turkana County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all the 7 bills.
Thank you. Senator Kajwang Moses Otieno, Homa Bay County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes on all the bills.
Senator Kamar Margaret Jepkoech, Wasingishu County.
I vote yes for all the 7.
Senator Kangata Irongo, Muranga County.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Senator Kangata.
Oh,
Senator Kangata, we can't hear you. You are shaking.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all those bills.
Thank you.
Senator Haniri George, Vihiga County.
Please,
Madam Speaker, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I vote, Vihiga votes yes on all the 7 bills.
Thank you,
Senator Kibiru Charles Rubenson, Kirinyaga County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all the 7 bills.
Thank you. Senator Kihika Susan Wakarura, Nakuru County.
Sorry, there. Okay, I vote yes, Madam Speaker, on all 7 votes, on all 7 bills. Thank you on behalf of Ed Kenya. Okay.
Senator Kimani Wamatangi Paul, Kiambu County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for the 7 bills.
Senator Kindiki Kithure, Tharaka Nithi County. Senator Kirinyaga Ephraim Mwangi Maina, Nyeri County. Senator Langat Christopher Andrew, Bomet County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all the 7 bills.
Senator Lelegwe Tumbesi, Samburu County. Senator Linturi Franklin Mithika, Meru County. Senator Loitiptip Anwar, Lamu County. Senator Madzayo Stewart Mwachiru, Kilifi County. Senator Mahamud Mohamed Malim, Mandera County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all the 7 bills.
Senator Malala Cleophas Wahungu, Kakamega County. Senator Mbito Michael Malinga, Trans Nzoia County. Senator Mbogo George Ochilo Ayako, Migori County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes 7 times.
Senator Mogeni Eric Okongo, Nyamira County. Senator Moi Gideon Kipsielei.
Professor Ongeri, please speak up. Was that Ongeri? Oh.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for 7 counties, for 7 bills.
For all 7 bills, senators, these are bills.
7 bills, Madam Speaker.
Thank
I
you.
vote yes.
Thank you.
Senator Moi Gideon Kipsielei Towet, Baringo County. Senator Mpayei Philip Salau, Kajiado County. Senator Murkomen Onesimus Kipchumba, Elgeyo Marakwet County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes on all the 7 bills.
Senator Mudhama Agnes Kavindu, Machakos County.
Yes, for all the 7 bills.
Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr., Makueni County.
I vote yes for all the 7 bills.
Senator Mwangi Paul Githiomi, Nyandarua County.
Please vote Senator Gidiomi. Senator Gidiomi. Senator Gidiomi, we cannot hear you. We'll come back.
Madam Speaker, Nyandarua votes yes for all the 7 bills.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you are good.
Senator Mwaruma Jones Mwashushe, Taita Taveta County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all the 7 bills.
Thank you, Senator.
Senator Munyihaji Mohamed Faki, Mombasa County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for the 7 bills.
Thank you.
Senator Nderito John Kinyua, Laikipia County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for the 7 bills.
Senator Ndwiga Peter Njeru, Embu County.
Senator Ndwiga.
Senator Olekina Ledama, Narok County.
Yeah,
Senator Orengo James, Siaya County.
The 7 bills.
Yeah, it didn't go into record. Please do it again. Yeah.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all the 7 bills.
Thank you.
Senator Outa Frederick Otieno, Kisumu County.
Rose Nyamunga, please, for Kisumu.
Honorable Senator, I vote yes on this. Honorable Speaker, I vote yes on all the 6 bills.
7.
On all the 7 bills.
Senator Pogisio Samuel Losuron, West Pokot County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all the 7 questions.
Senator Sakaja Johnson Arthur, Nairobi County.
Madam Speaker, looking at the standing order, I vote yes for the first 4, and for the next 3, I also vote yes.
Senator Wako Sitswila Amos, Busia County. Senator Wambua Enoch Kio, Kitui County.
Madam Speaker, Kitui votes yes for each of the 7 bills.
Senator Wario Golich Juma, Tana River County. Senator Wetangula Moses Masika, Bungoma County.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all the 7 bills.
Senator Cherarke Samson Kiprotich, Nandi County. Senator Cheriot Aaron Kipkirui, Kericho County. Senator Kindiki Kithure, Tharakanithi County. Senator Kirinyaga Ephraim Mwangi Maina, Nyeri County. Senator Lelegwe Tumbesi, Samburu County. Senator Linturi Franklin Mithika, Meru County. Senator Loitiptip Anwar, Lamu County.
7 bills. Mr. Speaker, I vote yes for the 7 bills.
Lenturi, thank you, Lenturi. I think there is something wrong also with our system. When the picture comes, the voice doesn't come. When the voice comes, the pictures disappear. But we have got you, Senator Lenturi, very well.
Senator Madzayos Tiwat Mwachiru, Kilifi County. Senator Malala Cleophas Wahungu, Kakamega County. Senator Mbito Michael Malinga, Trans Nzoia County.
Was Mbito online? Senator Mbito, control room, please search for his picture. He is supposedly online. Okay, Senator Mbito. And then Malala, we have seen you also. Senator Mbito, please vote. Can you unmute? Senator Cleophas Malala, please vote. Malala, please vote. Machine is not very stable. Senator Malala, we have not heard you. Senator Mbito. Senator Mbito, please vote. cannot unmute? Is Senator Mbito unable to unmute? Yeah, we can hear you shaking quite a bit.
I vote yes.
There's a problem with that.
Senator Malala, there you go. We can see you now.
I vote yes.
Please unmute, Senator Malala. We are seeing you, but we are not hearing you.
Just tell them to log out.
I vote yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay, thank you, Senator Malala. We have heard you. Senator Mbito, if you are still around.
Log in back. That's what you do. Whatever.
Okay, we'll continue while Mbito is struggling to reach a more stable place.
Okay. Senator Mogeni, Eric Okongo, Nyamira County. Senator Moi Gideon Kipsielei Towet, Baringo County. Senator Mpaye Philip Salau, Kajiado County.
Senator is online.
Speaker, I vote on
Senator, yes for the 7.
Yes, I voted yes for the 7 bills, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. We have cleared you, Ongeri. Senator Mary Senator, just say yes for the 7. For record purposes.
I vote yes for the 7.
Thank you. And the House says Pole for your briefment.
Senator Ndwiga Peter Njero, Embu County.
I vote yes for the 7. Can you hear me?
Senator, now we are hearing you.
Senator Olekina Ledama, Narok County. Senator Wako Sitswila Amos, Busia County. Senator Wario Golich Juma, Tana River County.
Okay, we'll go ahead. And I want to still inform the members online that we are going to go into the committee of the whole, and we still request you please to be close to your gadgets so that we finish in the shortest time possible. That will be in the next 5 minutes after we have finished counting.
Constituency Development Fund Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 4 of 2021. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. So we go to the next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
We will start notice of motion. The member for Elgeyo Marakwet. Sorry, first let's start with the leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That aware that the history of any institution is key to evaluating its development over time, further aware that documenting history provides a knowledge bank for future generations, noting that the history of the Parliament of Kenya is largely unrecorded, scattered and piecemeal, further noting that most comparable jurisdictions have elaborate records of their history which are periodically updated to capture new developments, cognizant of the fact that the Parliament of Kenya marks its 114th anniversary this year, having been established as the Legislative Council, popularly known as the LegCo, in August of 1907, and further cognizant that the legislature has been transforming in the last century, both in mandate and composition, starting as a fused unicameral legislature to a bicameral one at independence, to a unicameral legislature before again reverting to a bicameral parliament after the promulgation of the Constitution of the Kenya 2010, of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, recognizing the many works of art, including statutes, frescoes, murals, and pictures connected with the history of the Parliament of Kenya, including the contributions of great men and women, families, architects, and politicians throughout the 114 years of the history of the institution and its transformation and growth throughout the period. Now, therefore, in order to ensure the preservation of the history of the institution for future generation, this House resolves: 1, that at an appropriate stage, the House appoints a committee comprising of not more than 9 members to oversee the preservation of these histories for posterity, with special focus on the National Assembly. 2, that the copyrights of the History of Parliament of Kenya projects be reserved for the benefit of Parliament and the people of Kenya. And 3, that the Clerk of the National Assembly puts in place and executes appropriate mechanisms to actualize this resolution. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. So we go to the next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Under this particular order, we will start with questions. And to start us off is we'll start with the questions by private notice. Start us off is the member for Kitui Rural, the Honorable Mwalika Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question number 008 of 2021 to the Cabinet Secretary for Education. 1, could the Cabinet Secretary state whether there are any schools that are in need of relief food in the Kitui Rural Constituency? And if so, list the schools. 2, considering the famine currently being experienced across Kitui Rural Constituency, could the Ministry urgently consider including all schools in the constituency in the list of schools benefiting from government schools feeding program, so as to ensure that children in the area attend schools without interruption? 3, what measures is the government taking to cushion residents of the state constituency against the effect of famine due to the perennial drought normally experienced in the constituency? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, that one will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Education. Let's go to the member for Fafi. That's the Abdikarim Osman.
Amboni area. On Sunday, 17th October 2021, instantly killing over 40 heads of cattle. Number 2, what action has the ministry taken against the officers who took this action that also led to the killing of Mr. Arab Maulid Jiro of ID number 351-227-34 from Fafi constituency, leaving behind an expectant widow, and in addition to losing all his livestock to the gunshots. Number 3, could the Cabinet Secretary ensure that the matter is fully investigated with a view to ensuring justice for the deceased and his family and compensation of the loss of livestock? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. That one will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Defense, Foreign Relations. Next is the member for Kibra, Honorable Imran Okoth.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question number 10 of 2021, directed to the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government. Number 1, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the circumstances surrounding the abduction and subsequent killing of the late Cynthia Makoa, a young Form 4 student from Kibera Girls Soccer Academy in Kibra constituency, who was abducted, violated, and killed, and her body dumped into a river in Shianda village, Mumias East Sub-County, Kakamega County, while visiting her family during the recent October school's holiday. Number 2, could the Cabinet Secretary also provide the status of investigations into this heinous crime and indicate whether any suspects have been questioned or arrested? Number 3, what steps is the government taking to end the increasing cases of gender-based violence in the country, which have seen many women and girls injured, maimed, or killed, and also ensure justice for the victims? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
One will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Administration, National Security. So we go to the ordinary questions. Let's start with the Honorable Kasim Tandaza, member for Matuga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise to ask question number 364 of 2021 to the Cabinet Secretary for Education. 1. What measures has the ministry put in place to ensure smooth implementation of the competency-based curriculum CBC in all schools? 2. Could Cabinet Secretary confirm whether all stakeholders were involved in the development of the new curriculum and its rollout? 3. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide a list of all secondary schools teachers undergoing training on the new curriculum across the country and explain how the training is being rolled out, particularly in Matuga constituency? 4. Could the Cabinet Secretary avail the number of infrastructure projects such as workshops, laboratories, and sports fields that the government is putting up, if any, to ensure the success of CBC across the country, and in particular in Matuga constituency? 5. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide the status of the implementation of the initiatives in paragraph 4 above, indicating the commencement dates, amount of money utilized so far, and the expected completion dates? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, that one will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Education and Research. So we go to the next one by the member for Masaba, and I think he had given another member, Honorable Engineer Thaddeus, on Zambia. Thaddeus, Zambia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to ask question 378, 2021. Could the Cabinet Secretary give the progress of the construction of Sosera Ramasa Road in Nyaribari Masaba constituency and explain why the project, which commenced in 2019, is yet to be completed? 2. Could the Cabinet Secretary indicate the initial contract period for the said project, outlining the steps that the Ministry is taking to ensure its completion? 3. Could the Cabinet Secretary state the total amount of money so far paid for the contractor for the project? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Will be replied to before the Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing. Member for Msambweni, ask your question. The Honorable Faisal Bader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question 383 of 2021, directed to the Cabinet Secretary for Petroleum and Mining. 1. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide details on the amount of royalties collected by the government since the enactment of the Mining Act 2016? 2. Could the Cabinet Secretary explain the mechanisms put in place to ensure that fees and other royalties collected by the government from MS Best Titanium Limited benefit the people of Kwale County? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. That will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Environment and Natural Resources. So we go to the next one by the member for Mumias East, the Honorable Benjamin Washiali. Jomo. Absent, so deferred. Member for Bobet Central, the Honorable Tanui. Honorable Ronald Tanui, please ask your question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I arise to ask question 430 of 2021, the Chairperson Teacher Service Commission. The questions are the following. Are there plans by the Teacher Service Commission to fund the recently introduced refresher course known as Teachers Progression Development, TPD, training modules? What is the legal basis for arriving at the 6,000 Kenya shillings fee for the said courses? Could the Commission confirm if TPD will be a factor in determination of teachers' promotion? And could the Commission also explain whether public participation was effectively carried out in the development of the TPD modules, considering the inadequate human and material resources and correlation between content and pedagogical practices? Thank you.
That one will be replied to before the department. That will be for written reply by the Teacher Service Commission. Next will be the member for Homa Bay Town, the Honorable Peter Kaluma Opondo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to withdraw this question for the reason that I'm also a member of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, and while the question was pending, I engaged the Commission together with the committee, and the subject matter of the question is already being addressed. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
That saves our time. So we go to the member for Teso South, the Honorable Muse Geoffrey.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to ask question number 436 of 2021, directed to the Cabinet Secretary for Transport and Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. 1. Could the Cabinet Secretary explain the poor and substandard works done during the tarmacking of Busia-Malaba Road, which has already developed potholes along the entire stretch, less than 1 year since its completion? 2. What was the total amount of money that had been allocated for the improvement and maintenance of the said road? And could the Cabinet Secretary confirm if Kenyan taxpayers did get value for money used in the project? 3. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide details of the contractor awarded the contract for the maintenance of the said road, indicating his capabilities, work experience, and when they are expected to begin maintenance works? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Now that one will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing. Then we go to the next one by the member for Matungu, the Honorable Oscar Nabulindo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I beg to ask question 438, the Minister of Interior and Coordination of National Government. One, what steps is the ministry taking to ensure that M-Pesa agents, businesses, and individuals do not continue to lose their hard-earned money to criminals who defraud them using high-tech gadgets that are rampant across the country, particularly in Matungu constituency and the neighboring constituencies where majority of M-Pesa operators and business persons have since closed down as a result of the vice. Two, what measures has the Cabinet Secretary put in place to protect individuals and businesses from such fraudulent activities? Three, could the Cabinet Secretary ensure that the crime is put to an end and guarantee security for individuals and businesses? Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yes, that one will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security. I believe that should be it. So the member for Kamukunji, Yusuf Hassan, you want to ask this question? Proceed.
I don't have a card.
You have, that one is on. Use that one next to you. You already got it. Well, the one you are using is not very okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I would like to ask question number 439 of 2021. My question is directed to the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government. One, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the status of investigations into the disappearances of Mr. Hassan Osman Dahir of ID number 27294534, age 36, a resident of Kamkuji constituency, who went missing on the 13th June 2021 in the evening on his way from Abu Bakr Sadiq Mosque, situated on 7th Street in Eastleigh, Nairobi, and a missing person report at Pangani Police Station, OB 55/15/06 of 2021. 2. How many suspects have been apprehended or questioned in connection with the disappearances of Mr. Hassan Osman Dahir, whose disappearance is connected with security personnel who allegedly have abducted him? Number 3, could the Cabinet Secretary explain when Mr. Dahir will be presented to his family, considering that his abduction and failure to be presented before a court of law within the statutory timelines have caused immense psychological suffering and apprehension to his family, friends, and the wider Kamkunji constituency? And finally, number 4, what specific measures has the government put into place to protect Kenyan citizens from the spate of the abductions and subsequent disappearances that have been rampant in the country this year? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, that one will be replied to before just a minute. The one by Honorable Yusuf Hassan will be replied to before the committee or Departmental Committee on Administration, National Security. Then we go to the member for Kitui West, the Honorable Nyenze. That is Nyenze.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to ask this question to the Cabinet Secretary for Education. Question number 1, could the Cabinet Secretary explain why Kenya National Examination Council has merged national examination centers with less than 30 candidates in both primary and secondary schools, such that schools with less than 30 registered candidates will cease being examination centers? Question part 2, how does the ministry intend to address the logistical difficulties and disruptions that may be experienced by candidates as a result of this policy, which could negatively affect performance in the national examinations? Part 3, Was there stakeholders' participation and consultations prior to effecting these policy changes? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
This one will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Education and Research. Next is the member for Sigawit. So the Honorable Koros Kipsengere.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I rise to ask question 443 of 2021 to the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Relations. Question 1. Could the Cabinet Secretary state the government position following the recent International Court of Justice decision regarding maritime delimitation dispute between the Republic of Kenya and the Federal Republic of Somalia, which majorly favored Somalia by awarding her 2/3 of the disputed maritime zone? Secondly, Mr. Speaker, what is the immediate impact of the decision on Kenya, which has actual possession of the disputed area and is utilizing the same for growth of the economy? And third and last, Mr. Speaker, is how much money was used in the litigation process and why did the Kenyan government opted out of the legal proceedings, considering that it has been an active participant in the international law treaties and conventions? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. That will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Defense and Foreign Relations. Next is the member for Kilome, Honorable Zambia. Engineer.
Thank you. Thank you once again, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to rise and ask question 444/2021. And this one is directed to the Cabinet Secretary for Transport, Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development. 1. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide the status of the construction of Sultan Ahmad Kaskeu Chambeke Road in Kilome constituency under the low volume seal tarmacking program, which has since stalled with only 6 kilometers and a bridge remaining to completion? 2. Could the Cabinet Secretary state the total amount of funds allocated for the said project, the sum already paid to the contractor for and any outstanding amount, if any? 3. Could the Cabinet Secretary confirm whether the road is being constructed as per the said standards, and if so, explain why the completed section is already developing potholes? Lastly, that is 4. What action does the Ministry intend to take against the contractor for substandard works? And could the Cabinet Secretary ensure that the sections with potholes are immediately rehabilitated? Thank you, Honorable Speaker, once again.
All right, this one will be replied to before the Departmental Committee on Transport, Public Works and Housing. Next and lastly, the member from Vita, the Honorable Nasir.
Asante sana, Bwana Spika. Ningependa kuuliza swali la 445 la mwaka 2021, na swali liende kwa waziri husika na masala ya fedha. Bwana Spika, tunataka waziri aweze kutuelezea ni fedha ngapi ambazo serikali imeweza kukusanya kupitia hazina ya kulipa deni la SGR, yani Railway Levy Development Fund, tangu ianzishwe. Pili, tunaomba waziri aweze kuelezea hizi fedha zimetumika kufanya kitu gani na gani, na aweze kutoa mpangilio ama ratiba ya kila amana iliyoweza kutumika imetumika kwa njia gani. Tatu, Bwana Spika, tunataka waziri atuelezee katika pesa hizi ni idadi ipi ambayo imeweza kutumika kulipa deni la wenyewe, na mwishowe wana mikakati gani, Bwana Spika, Treasury ama Wizara ya Fedha kuweza kuregesha fedha hizi ili ziweze kutumika kwa njia ambazo kwamba ilokusudiwa wakati sheria hii inaundwa. Asante sana Bwana Spika.
Ordinarily, Honorable Nasir, I would have had a problem with what you have just done, because you know the question is written in English and you have asked in Kiswahili, but I followed it and found that you are actually interpreting it properly. And I also considered that since we have already done the Kiswahili standing orders, it would be wrong for me to read. But in future, why don't you simply just have the question put in Kiswahili, and then you can read it and follow it with everybody else? Yes, what is it, Honorable Nasir, before I refer to the relevant committee? Yes, what is it, Nasir?
Bwana Spika, wasiwasi wangu sijiluka ikaweza kumchenga waziri aje kutuletea majawabu hapa ambao kwamba hayaeleweki. Nikaonelea ya kuwa ile ya kuandika iwe ni Kiingereza, lakini ile ambao kwamba tuweze kuzungumza tukitukuze lugha ya Kiswahili. Lakini katika hali ya kuitukuza lugha ya Kiswahili isiwe ni sababu ya waje kutupatia jawabu ambazo kwamba hazina mwelekeo na za shakla bagla.
Well, that one I can put your fears to rest. I know the minister, the cabinet secretary for finance, having seen him in school, and he's a very good Kiswahili student himself. He was. So then I could proceed to reply to commit it to the departmental committee on finance and national planning for the answer to be given there. Thank you very much. So we go to the next order. No, let's proceed to just a minute. Just a minute.
Honorable members, we are now moving to the statements, and we are starting with the member for Kamukunji, the Honorable Yusuf Hassan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. I would like to request for a statement pursuant to Standing Order number 44/2/C. The recurrent fire outbreaks in Kikumba Market. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44(2)(C, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security on the measures the government is pursuing to protect the lives, property and businesses of traders at the Kikumba Market and curtail the recurrent fires at the market. Honorable Speaker, Kikumba Market is the largest open-air market in Kenya and the East Africa region, serving as an economic hub for businesses, particularly those specialized in second-hand clothes, otherwise known as mitumba. The market hosts thousands of traders, has created numerous employment opportunities, and attracts thousands of customers daily, thereby significantly contributing to the national government and the national city-county government revenues through custom duties, levies, rates, and license fees. Honorable Speaker, Kikumba Market has been exposed to a series of frequent fires, the most recent one having occurred on the 20th of October 2021 on the southern part of the Kikumba Market opposite Juakali, resulting in destruction of property and businesses, huge financial losses to the traders, and consequently crippling the traders' efforts to rebuild their razed down businesses and affecting the overall performance of the economy. Speaker, Article 27 of the Constitution guarantees the protection of the right to life. Article 40 guarantees every citizen the protection of their right to property, individually or in association to others. Article 41 guarantees the right to reasonable working conditions for every worker. And Article 43 of our Constitution, inter alia, provides for the right to reasonable standards of sanitation for every person. The traders at Kikumba market have decried that the government has neglected its obligation to put in place suitable measures to sustain the business environment at the market, and further has been unwilling to address the perennial fires. It is on the account of these concerns, Madam Speaker, that I seek for a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee on Administration and National Security. On one, what causes the current fires at Kikumba market as established by the various investigations? Number two, what measures is the government pursuing to control and manage the situation at Kikumba market so as to create a conducive business environment for the traders? Number three, what steps have been taken to ensure adequate precautionary and preventive measures are put in place to reduce and curtail the current fire outbreaks at the Kikumba market? Number four, what plans does the government have to improve the deplorable infrastructure inside the Kikumba market so as to improve access, install proper drainage system, build sheds, pavements, and secure overall security at the market? And number five, what specific measures is the government implementing to cushion the Kikumba market traders from the devastating losses caused by the frequent fires at the market, to enable them to rebuild their stalls, restock and resume business? Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Chairperson, could you give an indication of how you will handle the response?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I agree with the petitioner, the Honorable Hassan, who is actually not petitioning but seeking for a statement. That issue is quite important, that those people who are doing business there and getting their livelihood are also supporting very many families, and therefore we'll try and expedite on that matter, and in any case within 2 weeks. Madam Speaker.
Honorable Yusuf, did you finish, Chair?
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker. I'm happy with the 2 weeks period, but I also had a previous request for a statement from the committee on Maston Wanjala, the serial killer. And the last time that question was posed, the departmental chair, vice chair, had promised to respond as quickly as possible on that urgent issue. And I am here to hear the response of the Department for National Administration.
Let's go to Honorable Chair.
Yeah, it's something he asked.
Oh, he raised something else?
Yes, he raised something else about a matter that he had asked before. And since we have scheduled a meeting on 28th of this month, I would invite the honourable member, if he is able to attend, so that we can address that among many other issues that we shall address that day. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Let's go to the member for Saboti constituency on the issue regarding delays in the issuance of national identity cards. You are not member for Saboti.
I think the Deputy Speaker had allowed that I do this on his behalf. Of course, I also have mine.
You may proceed, Honorable Ochanda.
Thanks a lot, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Honorable Caleb Amisi of Saboti is requesting for a statement regarding delays in the issuance of national ID cards. Honorable Speaker, For a person to be registered as a voter in Kenya, it is a requirement that one must hold a national identification card. The mass voter registration process, which began on the 4th of October, is yet to be concluded on the 4th of November 2020. However, many Kenyan citizens, especially from Saboti constituency and of course the rest of the other constituencies in the Republic, who had applied to be issued with identity cards, risk being locked out of the voter registration exercise, as they are yet to be issued with identity cards despite having applied for them. Madam Speaker, it is against this background that the member is seeking for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security, and in the statement, the chairperson should address the following matters. Roman 1, how long does it take to process national identity cards once an application has been made? 2, could the chairperson explain the long period taken to process national identity cards, thereby denying eligible persons the opportunity to register as voters? Roman 3, what measures has the ministry put in place to expedite the processing and issuance of all identity cards already applied for? Thank you, Madam Speaker. That was for Caleb Hamisi.
No, Honorable Ochanda, you will have to hold on.
Okay.
Let's have the chair guide us on how he's going to respond.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I expect that within 2 weeks we'll have done it, but that also if we get the written reply, even before we resume, I can make sure that it is transmitted to the person requesting. Thank you.
Honorable Ochanda, are you okay with that?
Madam, I think with the authority to continue executing this, I think the chair, when he gives us 2 weeks, it is exactly 2 weeks that is remaining to November 4th, or much less. So I'm wondering, if this comes up after 2 weeks, will we be addressing the question that has been really, or the matters that have been raised by Caleb?
Chair?
What is important to note is that we are not going to submit this request 2 weeks from now, that it will be submitted immediately, and if there are actual issues that they need to address, I'm sure they'll be able to address between now and then. And as a matter of fact, when the statement comes past that date, they will have to address whether they had already answered those questions that are required by the statement. So immediately it comes, we shall make sure that it's transmitted, but in any case, because of that urgency, we will quote and ensure that they act on those very urgent issues therein. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You okay, Honorable Ochanda? Okay. Let's have a request by the Honorable Kuria Kimani on KCSE certificates.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm raising pursuant to provisions of Studying Order 44-2C, and I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education and Research regarding the fate of the numerous Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education (KCSE) certificates being held illegally in secondary schools across the country. Honorable Speaker, it is a constitutional duty of every government to protect its citizens while providing a level playing field for all of them regardless of their social status in the society. It is also a constitutional obligation of every government to see to it that there is equal and even administration of justice through the various government justice apparatus. Honorable Speaker, the Kenya National Examination Council Act of 2012 provide that, and I quote, that the function of the council shall be to award certificates or diplomas to candidates in such institutions. Such certificates and diplomas shall not be withheld from the candidate by any person or institution. Further, Madam Speaker, the Kenya government in July of 2014, through the then Cabinet Secretary for Education, issued an order via a circular compelling that all secondary school heads to release all the KCSE certificates withheld illegally for the various reasons to respective candidates. Honorable Speaker, despite the clear provisions in law as passed by this Honorable House, and notwithstanding the directive from the government, thousands of Kenya National Examination Council certificates belonging to disadvantaged Kenyans continue to be held in various secondary schools across the country. While these very Kenyans continue to miss life-changing opportunities due to the lack of these important documents. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Health and Research on the following. 1. How many KCSE certificates are still being held by the various school heads across the country for non-clearance of school fees? And 2, where are some school heads still illegally holding onto the said certificates contrary to the existing law and the government order? And 3, what measures does the ministry have in place to ensure adherence to the law and government's directive on the ban on withholding certificates? And I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair, Education.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We can do that in 2 weeks before we come back from recess. Thank you.
Honorable Kimani, you okay with the 2 weeks?
In as much as the 2 weeks is advisable, I'll request the Honorable Chair to expedite the process because there are already many KCSE students that did their KCSE that are yet to join university because these certificates are being held. So if that will be expedited, it will save these students at least one academic year, time they don't have to waste because of a reason that's not their own doing. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay, so at most 2 weeks, I guess, Chair.
Madam Speaker, we will try as a committee to give our seen on the floor of the House today. We have already received 4 questions and some statements. So as a committee, we will give it our best to give priority to issues like the issue of the certificates. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Honorable Ochanda.
Now, Madam Speaker, pursuant to the Standing Order 442C, I rise to request a statement from the Chairperson Departmental Committee of Lands regarding allocation of a whopping 6,763.74 hectares of Yala swamp land, that is around 16.3 thousand acres of land in Siaya County to MS Lake Agro Limited. Honorable Speaker, the National Land Commission via the daily advertisement on the 14th of October 2021 gave a public notice of its intention to allocate 6,763 hectares of Yala swamp land to Lake Agro Limited. The move comes against a backdrop of a petition that we had placed before this Honorable House in the 11th Parliament around 2015, and also against a backdrop that the same issue had been discussed by the County Assembly of Siaya, and of course a series of court matters between Yimbo communities and the defunct Dominion Farms and the then Siaya County Council. Yala swamp land, together with the riverine lakes, is estimated, according to the records that we have, to be about 7,500 hectares of land. It is now apparent that the National Land Commission and the county government of Siaya is allocating the entire swamp land to the Lake Agro, and to us this is unacceptable. Honorable Speaker, the history of Yala swamp land recognizes that Alego, Usonga, and the Imbo communities settled and utilized portions of the swampland up to 1960s, when they agreed on themselves to move to give way for construction of an artificial river causeway for purposes of flood control and reclamation of land. The new river causeway was completed in 1969. From then onwards, the communities did not go back to settle in their lands, but agreed on their own free will to use the land for cultivation and livestock reserves. Madam Speaker, sometimes in 1970s, Lake Basin Development Authority, based on an agreement with the communities, started a structured farming arrangement on the eastern tip of the swampland. The Lake Basin activities, of course, didn't go for long. It folded and land went back to the communities. However, in 2005, Madam Speaker, Siaya County Council then, through a disputed agreement, leased out the land to the Dominion farms. The disputed agreement subsisted up to and until the Dominion farms closed down, sometimes in 2019. Madam Speaker, the communities are not against land allocation to any entity. And I want to repeat that, Madam Speaker, that the communities are not against land allocation to any entity, but first consideration must be given to the community interests. We need a lot of peace with any investor, peace which will only prevail when the communities have their space. Madam Speaker, it is therefore against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson, Departmental Committee of Lands, that number one, could the chairperson explain and clarify under what circumstances is the National Land Commission allocating the entire Yala swampland to a private developer, and for how long? Could the chairperson explain the status of the House resolution on which its recommendations included that local communities must be recognized and be allocated land alongside any other engagement? Could the chairperson explain under what circumstances did the commission survey and name blocks as Usonga, including lands that are in Bondo constituency? Usonga is in a leg of Usonga constituency and they have their own registry. Bondo has its own registry, therefore any lands that are within Bondo constituency must be recognized under the registry of lands in Bondo. Could the chairperson confirm the assurance that in whatever allocation agreement being considered, the alienation and allocation of the community blocks must run concurrently with the allocation done for private developers, and further confirm and demonstrate that any lands alienated for the community use must fall on the safely reclaimed areas? Could the chairperson explain whether there is a proof of revocation before the same lands are allocated to another party, considering that it as much as Dominion Farms stopped operations, the legal instruments still subsist, and these legal agreements between Dominion and Siaya County Council, now Siaya County government, was for 40 years from 2005. Could the chairperson explain under what arrangements the Lake Agro has been operating in the area for the last 4 years, yet they are yet to be given to be allocated land? Finally, Madam Speaker, could the chairperson facilitate halting of the notice by the National Assembly Commission via the daily advertisement of the 4th of October until all the necessary details are addressed and the communities are involved as provided for in the Constitution in regard to public participation, Madam Speaker? Thank you very much.
The chairperson, Committee on Lands. Chairperson, Lands, Vice Chair. And no one holding fort for Majority Whip.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Chair Lands has just gone to the office within Parliament, so she's still around. I'll convey the communication from the member, and I hope immediately we resume after recess, Honorable Speaker, the reply or the response should be back to the floor. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Did you get that message from the chair, or you're just stepping in for her? Honorable Ochanda. Because that will occasion an inordinate delay for the response required by the member.
Chair, what there is, I think maybe the majority didn't get it right. This notice was put on the 14th of October, and it requires from that date onwards that anybody with any complaints, with any issues, must raise it within 15 days. So by end of 29th or by 29th, when actually we are going to be in recess, the matter is going to be up for allocation. So, Madam Speaker, I request that the majority leader, majority whip, picks this up again, such that the chair, Departmental Committee of Lands, pick the matter as fast as possible within the next number of days, within the next week.
So, majority whip, having had that, can you make an undertaking on behalf of the chair?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as I said earlier, allow me to call myself a conveyor belt. But I was apologizing on behalf of the chair, since she's just stepped out to do similar duties of the chair. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, now that the member has clarified further, I'll also insist on the chair, considering that we are going into recess, but the matter is coming up on 29th, as the member said, she'll also have to look into it and make the necessary expedite. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I'll convey the similar message to the chair in the manner the member has said. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, that's in order. Now let's move on to responses to statements, and we shall start with Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Environment and Natural Resources.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I have two statements to respond on. One is by the Honourable Member for Honourable Kubai Ilingo, MP, regarding the release of the terminal benefit of one of his constituents, Miss Ndeli, who was a former employee of KWS. As a ranger, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wish to state that we have interrogated this statement with the Honourable Member, together with the KWS, and Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member is satisfied, and I wish to table the response. I'm actually in consultation with him, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the other statement is on is by the Honourable Mbadi Twali.
Is Honourable Kubai Ringo in the house?
Yeah.
You okay?
Madam Speaker, it's okay. I'm okay with it because we sat with the Cabinet Secretary and the committee and the chair, and we agreed on the way forward. Thank you.
Very well. Go on, Chair.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the other statement was sought by the Honourable Mbandi Twali, MP, regarding on the ongoing water provisions crisis in Jomvu constituency, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also wish to confirm that we are in engagement with the Honourable Member, but I would like to go through the responses, Madam Speaker, and on the very outset, I want to take the opportunity to thank the Honourable Members for the goodwill and the leadership which he demonstrated in finding long-lasting solution to the water crisis in his constituency. Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member for Jomvu constituency, Honourable Twali MP, sought for a statement regarding the ongoing water provision crisis in Jomvu constituency pursuant to Standing Order number 44-2C, and he specifically sought the following statement, Madam Speaker. One was the specific factors which have contributed to the drastic water shortage in Jomvu constituency. Two, why has the NDANAF group delayed in completing the water piping project? And three, the presence of water cartels in the area contributed to the water crisis in Jomvu constituency through deliberately obstructing the water piping program. And
Madaktari wameshindwa, mainjinia wameshindwa, matabibu wameshindwa, mapadri na masharti yao walishakutuna mapenzi wao. Nitekeni, tekeni, dekeni, wekeni, sahau, fwekeni, pate japo na miangala. Mapenzi yalileta madhara. I love you. Nitekeni, tekeni, dekeni, wekeni, sahau, fwekeni, pate japo na miangala. Mapenzi yalileta madhara. Dokta puliza kidonda, mapenzi yalinipa majeraha, nikakosa wakunipa raha. Baby,